Hello there, welcome back to my channel. Thanks for coming back, and as always thanks for the support. So today I thought I'd come back, I said I was going to come back with Hunkydory, but I thought I would come back with this Little Wings members free gift, just purely because I've only made 2 cards of it so far, on video anyway. So I thought it might be interesting to have another little play with that. So I'm going to be using a 6x6 card blank. So this has just come out of one of the Crafters Companions subscription boxes. I think I've said before, I've got millions millions of these little card blanks to use up, so I'm trying to use them as much as I can in all of my crafting. I'm also going to be using some black card. And the card, the actual design of it, I've sort of been inspired by something that I've seen online, so that's what I'm going to do, see what it comes out like. So because we're using a 6x6 card blank, it means I don't have to pull out the arm on my trimmer, so that's great. So I'm just going to come in with my first layer, as always, 2 notches under the 6. And then I'm going to bring this one in, and I'm going to do it this way. So I'm going to go 4 notches under the 6. 1, 2, 3, 4 notches under the 6. So that's going to be our mat to fit onto there. And then I also want this border, so I'm going to go, so let's see, what have we got there? We've got, from that line there, we've got, let's just look on the other side, that's a bit easier for me. So put that there, so there's an inch. So if I go to 2 inches, that side there, hopefully it should be pretty much even each side, so I'm happy with that. And then this one, I'm going to go 2 notches above 2. I believe that was 4 notches under the 6. So let's just double check that fits on nicely. Yep. Okay. So this again I can use somewhere else, so I'm not going to be using that today. So the first thing I want to do, and I know I talk about it a lot, don't very often do it, but I thought today might be the day. So I'm bringing in this stencil, this Crafters Companion stencil, just because I think it looks like bubbles with the water, and sort of, there is that sort of bubbly theme on here, although we're not using the kingfisher, it's the blue tipped image that we're using. I just thought it would fit in quite nicely with this background anyway, just to give us a little bit of texture. Just check I've got that the right way down. I think I have. There we go. We're just going to pop that through. And it's adorable scoreable, so it should take it really well, and embossing folders as well. I've never had a problem putting it through with the adorable scoreable. So you can see we've just got that little bit of interest, hopefully. Yeah, I think you can just pick it up there. A little bit of interest going on in the background. And by using stencils in this way, you know, it makes me feel better because I'm using more of my craft stash, if you know what I mean. Sometimes, you know, you're surrounded by all these bits and pieces and you think, oh my gosh, I've got all this stuff, I'm not using it. But if I can tie it in with different things like this, you know, it always makes me feel a little bit happy. Okay, so I'm going to be using my all-purpose glue. As always, I always just say, just be careful. This is a coated cardstock, so I always try not to get it too near the edges. I'm just going to mat that on nicely like so. And I'm going to have it as a tent fold. I just find that with a tent fold, doesn't really matter how much you put on the front of it, it always still stands up really well. Sometimes when you do a card that way and you put a lot of weight on, although it's not going to be a huge amount today, or if you go too high, sometimes they do have a sort of tendency to topple over. So that's why I tend to prefer the 10 folds. There we go, so good amount of glue on there. And I don't think there's an up or down, so I'm just going to go like so. And I can see my card, although it's a card blank, I can see there's just a little edge there. So what I'm going to do is just grab my metal ruler and my super sharp knife, and I'm just going to whip that off. And I could put it through the trimmer, but just with me having glued that, I just don't want to risk that being squished about and moved. So I'll just put that magnetic ruler back, and then again just carrying on with this one. So I'm just going to map this, my border onto here, and there will be no border at the sides, so it's just to draw that attention in along there. And again I'm going to go flat with this one, so all of my dimension is going to be in my toppers. And this is a super quick card, it's not anything too involved. Okay, so there's where we're at the moment. Okay, so that's there. Then I'm going to bring in the topper itself, and like I said before, I'm using this big blue tip one. We do have quite a few blue tips that come in the garden at the moment. They come in, I've got a cherry tree which is quite close to the house actually, but they do like to sit on there, and I think there's some ants on it. I think they do eat the ants and the grubs, but I think they're nesting in the neighbour's conifer tree. So we do see there's 3 of them that tend to stop by quite a bit. So now if you wanted to, you could just put this on as, you know, keep them all keep them all connected, and then just raise it up as it is. I'm not going to do that today. Okay, so I'm just going to grab some foam pads. I'm just going to find the little Hunkydory ones. Should have got these ready beforehand. So we've got the really thin 1mm ones, and I've got some strips there, so just bring those out. Some craft companion ones in case I need those as well. Okay, so for this big one, I'm just going to go around. These are the sort of 1mm ones. If I had a strip in a 1mm, I would use that. But I don't think I have. Trouble is, because with Mum's stuff coming in here now in the craft room as well, I've had to move things around, and my memory is, honestly, it's shocking. So I don't quite know what I've got and what I haven't at the moment, because things have been moved around just in case we have to move. Sort of, we have been working our way through, you know, cupboards and things. I mean, Mum's lived in this house since about 84, I think, so you can imagine all the stuff she's collected. And then, like, my nan died like 13 years ago, so of course some of her stuff came here because we were the only ones that lived near her. So there's her stuff still in the cupboard as well. So, and then, like, you know, my mum was a crafter. My sister is more of a colourer than a crafter. She's really into her colouring. the moment especially. So this one, I think I'm still going to just use my tacky glue on. It's probably not going to go flat, so I'm just putting it along these sides where it's going to hit that centre border, so it will still be up unsupported at that bottom edge. I'm quite happy with that because it's inside, it's not going to get squished about or anything, because this topper is going to be even higher anyway. So right, so I think this one I'm going to go in with these real chunky Crafter's Companion one, probably about 5mm. Really feels solid. So I'm just going to put plenty from there, one in the middle. And one of the cupboards we went in, well, my sister was in because she wanted to sort out all her cleaning stuff. She likes things to do with cleaning as well, different dusters and nonsense like that. But in one of the cupboards there was two sort of great big sort of storage crates full of cards, Hunkydory cards, most of them Christmas to be honest. From when I used to do shows, I used to go and go down to the little shows and take cards down. It was a bit hit and miss. Sometimes you do well, sometimes you don't. Okay, so the sentiments we've got are, I don't want that one, that's too big. So I'm thinking either a special friend or just a note to say. What I don't want to do is detract from the circle too much, so just wondering whether to pop that one up there and maybe put that one on the inside. Yeah, okay. So what I'm going to do is just cut this really tall pad in half. Let's see if it will come off now. Oh, it's going to be difficult. That on there like so. And if I just bit of glue on. There we go, and then we can come in like so. That one we're going to pop on the inside, but I do want an insert, so let me just grab an insert. Okay, so I've brought in this little insert that matches. I've just cut it to 2 notches under the 6 on a guillotine, just purely because the papers, for some reason, the trimmer struggles with it a little bit. So that's why I have used the guillotine on it. And then I'm just going to go along the top here. Actually, let's check it fits first. Always a smart thing to do. Yeah. And I just like to put a little bit along the top, just so that it's still loose leaf, if you like. So like the posh cards in the shop always have the leafed, so that's there. So when you open it up, you've got that. And then, actually I don't think I'm going to put that there, I'm going to put that on the back. Let's completely finish this card, which is not what I usually do. So we're just going to pop that one straight onto there. Okay, and then the last thing it needs, and I think you know what's coming next, it's going to be a couple of gems. So I'm just going to grab some gems out. I've got some blue some blue ones there. Yeah. And I'm just going to pop, it's just a little bit stuck up at the top. Just pop 3 little dots there. And if I grab my pokey tool, pop one. I always put these dots too close together. Two. And this would have also, I think, looked nice with some black gems, so just to tie that black in a little bit further would have been nice. But that's not what we've done today. Okay, so I'll pop those back in there, and that's it. So for that one, that's finished. So that's that card. We've got the bit on the back, and we've got our insert in. And I'm just going to get set up for a super quick second card. Okay, so I'm coming back to these this topper sheet again, try and get it finished up. And I've got the backing sheet, and I've got this rocker card die. I know you've seen me use it a couple of times, but I just absolutely think it's the most wonderful thing to have in your stash for any little toppers like this. So that's what I'm going to be using that for. Okay, so I do make it slightly different to the way they do on Hunkydory. So I'll show you what I do. So I'm going to grab myself a card blank. So let me just check. Yeah. So one of these little A6 ones will do the trick. So ideal way to use these up as well. I'm going to grab some tape. So you can see my card has already got the fold in it. So this line here would be the normal crease. So if I pop that to the top, and I may have to put this through twice, but that is okay. Just checking that is. Needs to go a little higher. Just going to make sure that's. Just want that to be straight. Just going to make it a little bit easier. If you want to, you can go ahead and just cut these out twice of the white and then stick them together. You know, horses for courses. I'm just going to try and save myself a bit of work. No, my luck, it'll probably go wrong today, but we'll see how it goes. A little looky. Yep, that's going to need to go through one more time. We've got our, wants to come apart, stick itself together, there we go. Got our little card blank. Okay, so I'm going to take that away, and I'm going to bring this, let's just move that away. So what I want to do is have this pretty border going along the bottom, so I'm just going to try and get it nice and even on each side. Can't go down too low because I don't want it to cut off my cut off at the bottom. I want it to match exactly the top. So we'll pop a little bit of tape on there. I'm just going to cut this off, and I can go under there because we don't need that bit. And then I've still got a nice topper there for maybe another rocker card, or any other card really. So let's pop those on. That's him, and that's going in. That's our bit there, and obviously I will cut along there, and that's going to fit exactly over the top. So that's that bit. So let's just get rid of that. Back. And the topper I'm using is this little Kingfisher here. So I think it will fit onto this size. So we want one of those, and then I want one of those and one of those. Okay, so I'm going to bring in, so from the printed papers with the inserts, I'm going to bring in this one, which, you know, picks up on those colours, and I'm going to bring in this deep blue. So let me just bring that blue in first of all, and I want this one and I want this one. So I just roughly cut to there, just two bits that I need, and we'll take those down. Those through, and this should only take the one go through because they're just really quite simple shapes, not a lot of cutting points on them. There we go. So let's see, got the blue one, has that one gone through? That one doesn't seem to. Let's see if we can put that back on. Go in. What I'm going to do is just add another piece of sticky there, just to make sure that doesn't move. And then this one we want plain, so just going to cut a little circle and there. Okay, so let me just make sure that the magnetic stays away. Again, that goes through. Okay, seems like, yeah, that's done it that time. And this one should be fine as well. Nope. What's going on with my cutter? It was doing this the other day, messing about. I'm sure it's wanting to be replaced with a 2, with Gemini 2. It's coming up tonight, I think. Is it tonight or tomorrow? I know Sarah's been saying about it. I want one. I've decided I kind of do want one, but I was hoping to wait until it's on Crafters TV but we'll see. We'll see. Okay. So we've got our little pieces here that are going to build up. Okay, so now we can bring in our foam pads. So I'm going to come in, let me just grab some more. Strips. Okay, so I'm going to come in, this is probably about a 3mm pad, so I'm just going to go across there, across there, across there, and I'll put this extra bit in the middle. So what this is doing is just giving that a really nice bit of lift and a rise. And then I'm just going to cut along that crease line to match up with our piece, like so. Okay, so if I pop these off super quick. A bit sticky. And again, always tacky glue just on there, just to give me a little bit of wiggle time and to give those pads just a little bit of extra stick. And then I'm just putting that exactly over the top. And what that does is it just gives it that little extra edge for it to rock, and I find that with it having those 3 edges, it rocks a lot more securely and it doesn't flatten out quite so much. Okay, so then we've got our pieces here. So the important thing to make sure is just that you keep things even in weight. So it's not so much how much it comes out, it's just about keeping, if you put something on the left side, you want something on the right side just to counterbalance it. Okay, when things are in the center, it's not so much of a problem because it's in the center, so it's going to be on that center piece of weight anyway. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead, just put some glue, tacky glue I'm using on this one, and just popping that onto the back. Move that down a bit if I need to. Like I said, I just want to try and keep it as even as possible. Get a nice press down, so there we go. I'm just going to check that's still rocking nicely. This is. Okay. So then this one, again, I'm going to go with the tacky glue just because it's paper, and I'm just going to put that in and just give it a really good smooth down, spread out that glue, because I don't want this to sort of, sometimes if the paper gets a bit too wet with a PVA glue, it can sort of ruckle the paper as it dries, so I don't want that to happen. So just going to spread that out so the glue is nicely spread. Okay, and then this one we're going to, so we use these ones, so cut some of these up. So if I just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this is me just being lazy and not looking for the other ones, because I know I've got other foam pads there that are already sort of the right size that I want to use for this, but just for a little bit of speed I'll just cut those up, and I'll probably regret it later when I want to strip. But anyhow, here we go. That's that one. Just take these backs off. again with my tacky glue. Foam pad bats that to me. Just popping that onto there. And then this is going onto our centre. And then I will use, I'll go in with these 1mm ones. And for some reason I seem to have loads of these little square 1mm ones, so I'm going to use those up. The only problem is you go, oh yeah, I'll put that on, and then at the end you've got to take all the backs off. So it's a bit of a pain, but nearly there. Then a little bit of tacky glue. Just going to pop him the right way up and into the centre. So that's that one. And then I've got some gems, and I want the sentiment. So the only one we've got left on here sentiment wise is this special friend. So this I'm going to pop on the bottom there. I think I will use this Crafter's Companion one. So there. And pop that on, just so that it comes above where that bird is, and because it's underneath and nearer the bottom, just going to get that extra bit of stability on it. I'm putting a nice lot of foam pads on, and again these are quite the chunky ones, probably about 5mm, somewhere around there. It's going just there. And then these gems that have come from AliExpress, so just cheap as chips sort of thing really. So I'm going to go, actually have I got these smaller ones? Not in the shiny. Okay, so we'll go with these. So I'm going to put 1 and 2 if my glue wants to come out. A few of these out. 1, 2. Over 3 and 4. Opposite side, and then I just want 1 each side there. Actually, I might put 1 more this side, just because it's going to be near the bottom, just because then it makes it that odd number that I like. So there's 7 then. Okay, so that's that. Let's check and see if it rocks. Yep, still rocking nicely, so that is perfect. And then the last thing to do is just to grab that die back. And then what I'll do is I will cut, so this is the insert that doesn't have a pattern on it, but I'm going to use it. So I'll just put that on there, all of these plates back. Oops, it's alive. Through, hopefully, oops, just knocked some dies on the floor. Hopefully it should just need to go through the one time with it being paper. looky. So that's there. That's there. And then what I'm going to do is just, well, you can't really see it, but there is the line where it's embossed. So I'm just going to cut just under there. And then hopefully that should fit in just nicely. Let me just take a tiny bit more off there, just slither just so that it comes down a little bit. Oh, it's going to be hard for me to show you when it flips over. There we go. And then as before, if you wanted to stamp a sentiment on here, obviously you could do that. I'm just popping that in, lining it up with the base if it wants to play. There we go. And I can press it down. And then we've got our 2 cards. So we've got a little rocker there, and we've got the blue tip. So I'm not sure if I'm going to come back to this kit again, because I haven't used the little book and I haven't used the acetate that I bought to go with it. So there is a chance that next time I come back with Hunkydory, I may come back with this again, either sort of the next time or the time after or something, just to come back. And it's just such a pretty kit as well. So I love the pastel colours, and you know, now we're sort of coming more or less to the end of spring, to the beginning of summer. It's nice to sort of play with that palette before all the summer stuff comes in, and unfortunately the Christmas stuff will be here soon as well. I think somebody, I think it might have been Crafters Companion, said their Christmas is starting in June this year. So you know, given that we are now in May, that's only a month away, do you know what I mean? So time, it just speeds up, doesn't it? But that's all I've got for today. Thank you so much for watching. As always, take care of yourselves. See you next time. Bye bye.